Yo guys, what's good? Welcome back to NCS Arcade. Sam here as always. I've got two legends joining me today. Alongside me, Blankfaces, Arya. How are you boys doing?
Yo,
Fantastic, man. Great
awesome,
to be
man.
here.
We just had technical hiccups because it's Wi-Fi's not going great for me so far. We're going to keep our fingers crossed that this works. We're going to be talking about the new track Daydream, as well as you guys' musical journey, how it feels to be collaborating together, and the release with NCS. So let's get straight into it.
Daydream was created somewhere November 2021, I think. And I had a day job back then, and it was a golf course I worked at, and I got really inspired at work, and I went home, made the idea in like 30 minutes. And then I hit up Blankfaces on Discord, and I was like, "Yo, dude, like, what do you think of this idea, man?" And he was like, "Dude, this is sick."
We laid the groundwork like pretty much that day. It was just like a really catchy idea, and it was really easy for me to work on it. And it's been sick too, because like we went to the same college together for like 2 years prior, and we've always been trying to like make something. And like when we first met back in 2019, like we made like like we were both newbies, so we made like such a crappy remix of this song.
Yeah,
And then
oh my God.
kind of like after we made this track, we were just looking back at both of our journeys, and we found this remix, and we're like, wow, like we've come pretty
Yeah,
far, So
yeah.
yeah, no, it's just been a cool journey, and this kind of culminates,
Yeah,
both of our progress.
it's pretty crazy, like looking back at the progress. And like the day we got accepted, we got the email, I was like screaming to Micah, man. I was like, because we've been listening to the NCS team for like since we were 14. It's a pleasure to be a part of the team, and like mad
Totally.
grateful, bro, mad grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Yeah.
we couldn't be more stoked as much as you might be for screaming. We would have been the same when we first heard the track. When you're working together, and it comes to this track being very like powerful, ethereal. I think you guys mentioned when you sent over like the breakdown for the track.
Mhm.
Who was it that tackled what parts, and what kind of little elements did you do to really bring the track to life? We'll start with you first, Blank Faces.
So it started out as like just like a basic intro with some keys, and
Yep.
then the first drop, there wasn't the ARP, there was just like the kind of chord stabs that you get on the first two beats.
Right.
And so I'm like, hey, it could be sick if I try like doing this like vocoder, like stuttery ARP kind of thing. So I was like playing around with it for a bit. So then, yeah, after that, we just powered through the first drop. And then, yeah, we both worked on the bridge. Senna made the chord progression for the bridge. I added some of the drums. He added the vocal chops, that kind of thing.
Senna, is there like technical things for you that like that you try to bring into most of your productions, or is it just whatever you're kind of feeling in that moment?
I think for me, when it comes to music production, it's whatever mood I'm in that moment. Some people like to, they like to be very like very strategic about it. Like, oh, like this has to be there. This has to be. Like for me, it's like more like whatever happens, happens. And that's, I think, more natural to me when it comes to collabs, especially.
Mhm.
But yeah, back to Daydream. Like Micah said, like when I make an idea, I like to have the intro ready, and like a first drop idea ready. And yeah, like Micah mentioned too, there was no ARP at the beginning, and then after Micah added all his touches, and like he sent me back the stems, and I finished the whole like foundation of it. And like because I remember when you sent me back the stems, Micah, the drop was still kind of like random, but the elements were there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was hella
Yeah.
random.
Yeah. So then
Hella random.
we both talked it out, and we managed to kind of like put it like so it's easy to listen to for the audience. And from there on, yeah, we finished it up, mixed and mastered it. And yeah, we were
Yeah.
like, why not send the NCS?
So I think also
Yeah.
something to add too is that we were
Yeah.
actually like looking for a vocalist, but then Senna had these like placeholder vocal chops. And then
Kara
after
vocals, bro.
yeah, and then after listening to it, we're like, hey, that's kind of fire. Maybe we should just keep it. So we kept it.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
works perfect, man. When it comes to
Yeah,
those
yeah.
vocal chops, Kara's all over that. Shout out to her. She's a legend of the
No,
scene,
sorry.
man. I think what's really good, especially when it comes to Daydream, and I love it with any track that not only has great production and a really good sound quality, but actually the sentiment of the track matches it.
Right.
Mhm.
In terms of the escapism that you guys touched on before we started speaking, what you sent over of like getting away from the daily life and tapping into music as really a form of just getting out of your own head, sort of.
100%.
If you guys are ever in those positions where you're sort of struggling with something, whether it might even be in music with a writer's block or just you can't quite get yourself out of bed that day. What kind of things do you do in terms of your music production to get away from all of that? Is it sitting down producing a beat for as quick as you can? Is it reaching out to collaborator? What kind of things do you do, I guess, to daydream yourself, really?
I'm not sure for daydream, but whenever writer's block hit me, I like to do these 1 hour challenges with my homies. So we have 1 hour on the clock, and then we get a sample, and we just mess around and see who can make the best beat for like an hour. But it's not a competition; it's more for fun, so we can all just have fun. And another thing is I like to download random plugins on the internet and then just mess around with them for like see what kind of cool sounds I can get, and also just basically, the more you mess around with, the more happy extents you can come up with.
And I think for me, if I'm ever like, if I ever need an escape mechanism with music, what I usually do, I love to write EDM, but I mean, sometimes I just express myself through just like a piano, because I did classical piano lessons for like 11 years growing up.
No way.
So yeah. So I'm kind of trained in that area. So that's how I come up with all my ideas. And if I usually like, I can't just draw it in the piano roll. Like I have to actually play it. That's like a weird quirk about my music production. So that's how I start all my ideas. And sometimes I'll be sitting on the piano for like 3 minutes and something cool comes up. Or sometimes I'll be sitting there for half an hour just playing and nothing will come up. But this was one of those times, I think, on Daydream where something came up really quick.
You both spoke about growing up together from the same city, and also I guess in terms of like your actual background of where you came from, classically trained when it comes to playing the piano, all these influences around the area that you guys grew up in. What is it from the very beginning that really started you guys along this journey of pursuing music?
All that I really knew about music was like symphonies, different orchestras. I had no idea like what the electronic realm could offer in terms of self-expression. And so I just thought it's a really cool way to express yourself, because you can essentially turn like, I don't know, the ones and zeros of digital music into human emotion. And I think that's just really cool.
I started making, beats for my friends, because a lot of them like to just mess around, rap, freestyle. That's how I grew up. I grew up with rap, right? But then when I was 14, I went to a Tiesto concert. My cousins took me, and I was like, yo, this could be it. And then I started I didn't start making music back then though. Like Micah said, I started in 2019-ish as well. And that's when I started making the beats. And EDM was I started taking it seriously like 2020. So I think this is my third year, almost third year going into like EDM production.
Think about the time that went into the production of the track, what you want people to take away when they listen to it. If you could describe Daydream in one word, what would it be and why?
Ethereal. I think that's pretty cool. Like I think that's perfect word for Daydream. And then Micah.
Yeah. I said the word escape.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
I feel like when you're listening to the song, you can just kind of drop your problems for like 2.5 minutes, just vibe.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's the perfect way to describe it. I think ethereal, escape. It's all of these sort of like we mentioned earlier, getting away from that day to day, locking in earphones, headphones, and listening to what is a great track. Make sure you guys go and check out all the socials below. The new track Daydream. First link in the description for you guys to go and pre-save that. Blankfaces and Arya, thank you so much for joining me, boys. Appreciate you guys coming on.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us.
No worries. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time on NCS Arcade. Thanks for watching. Peace.